Hi there. Thanks for joining in. And this week I am excited to bring you a snippet of a conversation that I had with Charley while I was down there studying with him. And one of the things that I loved about spending time with him is that I got to basically spend the whole day. We did sessions with Suede in the morning, in the afternoon. I would be able to go with him when he was teaching lessons or working with a horse that he had at his place. And then in the mornings, we would meet and we would talk about the day, and then it would usually turn into me asking him questions about the day before, and we'd get into these really great conversations. And after I'd been there a few days, I asked him if I could record one of our morning conversations, and he said yes. And you'll see that I had my notepad with a bunch of questions on it because I wanted to make sure and touch on a few of the things that were burning in my mind. So the conversation that I'm going to share with you today is one that I find really interesting, and that is the human tendency to make rules of things, especially when we're learning new things. I think it's, I know when I was teaching elementary school, I would watch kids go through it. I've gone through it. I continue to go through it as an adult, where when I'm learning something new, I often will make a rule out of it. Like if it's different than what I've learned in the past, instead of just saying, oh, this is different, this is a new strategy, this is great, I'll often go to this feeling of, why didn't I learn it this way before? The people I learned it from before, taught me incorrectly. And luckily, I don't spend I catch myself before I go there. But you might be able to identify with this because it's a very human tendency. Our brains want to categorize things. They want to stow things away in a neat and tidy way. And when something challenges something else in our brain, it can rattle things. And we, in a way to simplify that, is we can go, okay, well, if this is right, the rest of what I learned is wrong. And sometimes, we might go there because it's a little easier to go there than to say, wait a minute, this is different. And how does it fit in with all the other things that I've learned? So not to say sometimes you are going to run into something where you go, oh boy, the thing that I had been doing was wrong and I do want to discard it and never do it again. But oftentimes it's just something new, and it's a new opportunity for you to grow your tool set. So I hope you enjoy the conversation, and I really have loved interacting with many of you. Many of you are reaching out via email or commenting on YouTube. I am loving that. So if you watch this and you have questions, or you just want to shoot me a thought that you had, I love it. So please feel free to do that. I love hearing from you. I'm grateful you're a part of this adventure. So I hope you enjoy the conversation between Charley Snell and myself. Okay. Yeah, so this one we've talked about before as well, even just this morning.
So we got to talk about it again?
We got to talk about it again.
Okay.
Because I said I need repetition.
It's all right. We all do. That's how it's fine.
Yeah. So that human tendency to categorize right way, wrong way. This is, I just saw you do it, Charley, and all the things I've done before are wrong. This is the right way, making rules out of it. Why is that something to avoid?
If you've got anything in you, to me, that is set in a way, and something new comes into your life, well, with the horses, if you've got a particular horse or one or two that you've worked with, and you've got a way that works, and so you think that's the way, Well, now something else shows up with one of those guys, and all of a sudden what you were doing didn't work. If you're into that way, you won't see even the new thing that he's up to, much less be able to help him through it.
Hi there, it's me again. I just wanted to make a little note here. Charley was just talking about staying flexible for our horses. And then we got into a conversation that involved how he has had many people come to him that have been studying with lots of different people, and that he really felt like it was important for someone to learn the foundation, learn the basics with one program or one person before they start going from place to place, so that they have something to hang those new ideas on. And so I just wanted to share that. We kind of went off on a tangent, so I cut it out. And then we return. The next thing you're going to hear is us talking about the basics, and that the basics can be learned in so many different ways. Again, that there isn't a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. There are so many different amazing horsemen and women out there, so many great programs. I learned through the Pirelli program, which I will be forever grateful for. I know many of you have as well. Some of you may have learned the basics somewhere else, and some of you may be learning the basics now. So we delve into the idea of the importance of the basics, but that they can be learned in a variety of different ways. So back to the conversation with Charley.
You know, I mean, if you don't know your basic arithmetic and multiplication tables, there's no way you're going to do calculus.
Right. That's a really good example, because there's multiple ways of learning those basics. You know, some kids might do them to music, and some kids might do them, you know, there's all these different strategies and ways of doing it. And even in the education world, which is where I came from,
right,
people get set in, this is the way to do it. And the difficulty with that is, that might be the way that 30% of the kids are going to learn it. But now all of a sudden, if that's the only way you're going to share it, 70% of those kids are going to think there's something wrong with them.
And it destroys creativity.
Yes.
See?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So even that rule setting can apply there. So, and what you said earlier is, you know, if you get that, like those couple horses you bring through, it worked great. You get that one that it doesn't, and you're trying to apply those same things instead of searching, like you even said, you're not going to find, if you think that's the way, you've closed yourself off. You're not going to find that other stuff. And that, you know, to be totally honest, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Is I know, I saw it when I watched you. You did things in a familiar enough way that I didn't just get in my car and drive off, right? And I knew you were doing it for those horses, and just the way you talked, and you really intrigued me. But I knew you had something that I needed in my foundation that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And even being here with you, there have been times that I'm like, gosh, I don't know, why are you doing that? What is that for? And there have been times that I've felt like that's not right, because it doesn't fit with what I've got.
What you've learned and understand.
Yeah, but I know I see what's happening with Suede. I mean, there have been a few times I've had tears in my eyes watching what's happening. So I've stuck with it because I see him telling me that it's helping him.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. And we've done a lot of things with him. See, I've got to be very honest with you. I'm still searching for this horse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I go about that. I go, wait a minute, I'm not seeing some things come through here, some little things, but I keep searching for things and looking for all kinds of places we can get him to let go.
Right.
And there just isn't one thing that's going to work on
right.
this guy.
And there have been a couple instances, you might remember one, I can't think of a specific one, but I remember you saying, I'm surprised at how well he did with this. Oh, well, it was the leg rope.
Yes.
You were saying, I was saying, oh, well, maybe we could do that again so I can learn it. And you said, he doesn't need that.
Yeah.
And then yesterday when we were playing with me being up on the fence and having him come forward, and he was just having such a hard time not going back into that place of tension to take that step. And then you experimented with that piece with the
Getting
halter.
down on the ground.
Yeah. And like you said, we don't know for sure if this is going to unlock it, but it might.
Yeah.
So if we'd stayed in that, no, it has to happen up here, and it's hard. It makes it harder for people to learn. It'd be so nice if you just had the 10-step program, right? You follow these 10 steps and every horse will be fine.
See, in a way it kind of works with my nature, because I've been a little bit of a rebel in my life. See, don't tell me I can't do something.
Right.
See, I will damn sure prove you wrong.
Right. So if I say you cannot wash my truck.
Yeah, it might cost me some skin, but I'll show you.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So here we go.
Right.
And someday, it'll be my fondest desire someday to see some things really working for him and the two of you. And who knows how long that'll take, you see. And like we talked before, he's not 3-day clinic material.
Right.
See, if or even 5, how many days would it take to get, how much have we worked to get some changes that we've got now, that some of them are maybe just starting to kind of hang in there and see?
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Who knows
And it's a good combination, because I am not in a hurry. My goal with him is one that I keep learning.
Yeah.
Because I know he's the horse that
he's going to keep
teaching
you learning.
me.
I'll guarantee you that.
Yep.
Because if we don't learn with him to know where he's at and how to have him check in and feel all right, there's going to be some surprises.
Well, I already found out what happens, right? Like, I mean, I had a lesson that, there's a part of me that wishes I didn't.
Yeah.
But also, I think I mentioned this to you the other day when I first came down here a month ago. I had a moment where I was grateful that I broke my back, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have had the incentive to stick with this.
Isn't that how we do sometimes?
Yeah. So my goal is to keep learning with him, and I don't have to ride again. I'm starting to really think that could be part of it, but it's okay with me if it doesn't end up being there. But I want to keep progressing with him. I'm not going to just leave him in the pasture, although I have thought of that too. Like, I have a great place. It would be okay if that's how he lived out the rest of his years, is with my herd.
That'd be, exactly, and that's a viable option. And by the same token, if I had this horse here, he would be such an intrigue to me that I'd probably short somebody else, I would, because I would always be fiddling with something to try to find some way.
Yeah.
See, to have him, just like the little mare I had here, 2 or 3 winters ago, and what a thing that was to get her right. And when I finally got her right, and she rode off like I'd been riding her for 6 months, you see. And there again, I'd called Harry and was talking to him about her, and I said, I can ride this mare, Harry. And he says, well, why? Well, see, there's the answer of the wise teacher.
Yeah.
I went to bed that night thinking, well, I know this mare packs some things. I know. I mean, boy, and so I said, oh, well, I don't need to. I'm no longer on this cowboy trip anymore. And it took me another 2 or 3 months. And when she got right, the first ride on her was, and the gals down at the clinic down there, they got to see ride 6 and 7, and they were kind of in awe about it all. But you see, all that, it took all that preparation to where she got so good about stuff. And if you, in today's world, where these horses, you're going to ride them into their 20s sometimes, I'm going, wait a minute, why not take that time?
Right.
See, we're not out on the ranches anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And why not take that time thinking about 10, 15 years down the road?
Right.
You see?
Yeah. Good stuff.
Swade's not one that's going to let you puff out your chest and look pretty good.
No.
He's
No.
going to keep you humble in the process.
Yes, very much so.
And I don't mean you.
It is me, but I know what you mean.
I'm talking about here.
Sure. Yeah, he's a special guy. He sure tries.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
He's got
there's sometimes that we have seen him put so much effort into trying to. What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't wanting to just fly off the handle and react. He was really trying to find out what this was about, you know, and there'll be more of that.
Yeah.
There'll be more.
And for me, that's the piece that is so, like when I first decided I was going to offer to his owner that I'd try to, because I knew she was, if she kept going with him, she was going to get really hurt.
She got hurt, yeah.
And she already had come off a few times. And it was after the time he spent with the trainer, I watched him with this colleague of mine, Cezanne, and the effort he put in, and he was trying to figure things out, and she helped him with a few things, and it was just beautiful to watch. And I knew I had time, and she kept saying this horse needs somebody that'll put in a lot of time doing things that are not that exciting. And I was like, I can be that person. But that look that he has, that is like.
See, and I'll add a little thing to the time, quality.
Yeah.
Quality.
Right.
See, if you only got 5 minutes, but they're quality, see, that's better than an hour of just time.
Right.
Particularly with that guy right there.
Absolutely.
See, it applies to any horse, but.
Right.
But.
And for me, I might need 4 hours, spread out, not necessarily in one day, but 4 hours spread out to get 5 minutes of quality that would take you 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the part that I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with it. And then keep continuing to seek out that information, you know. So I'm glad you're here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. It's been a joy for me. I mean, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
A whole bunch. So
it's not over.
You're welcome at my house anytime.
Awesome.
You know.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.